A young monk and the empty boat, a Zen story, how our own thinking causes our suffering. A long time ago, a young Zen monk lived in a small monastery located in a forest near a small lake. The monastery was home to a few senior monks, while the rest were newcomers who still had much to learn. The monks had many responsibilities in the monastery, but the most important one was their daily meditation practice, where they had to sit in silence with their eyes closed for hours. After each meditation session, they had to report their progress to their mentor. However, a young monk struggled to stay focused during meditation, which made him very frustrated. When he reported his difficulties to his mentor, the elder monk asked him a simple question that contained a deep lesson. "Do you really know what is making you angry?" The young monk replied, "As soon as I close my eyes and start meditating, someone moves around and I can't focus. I get angry because they disturb me even though they know I'm meditating. How can they be so inconsiderate? Then sometimes a cat or a small animal brushes past me and disturbs me again. By that point, even when the wind blows and tree branches make noise, I get irritated. If that's not enough, the birds keep chirping and I can't find any peace in this place." The elder monk calmly said, "I see that you become angrier with each disturbance, but that is the opposite of what meditation is meant to achieve. You must find a way not to get angry at people, animals, or anything else around you that disturbs your practice." Hearing this, the young monk decided to find a quieter place to meditate. He left the monastery and searched for a peaceful spot. Soon he found a quiet place by the lake. He laid out his mat, sat down, and began to meditate. But within a few minutes, a flock of birds splashed into the lake nearby. Hearing the noise, the monk opened his eyes to see what was happening. Even though the lakeside was quieter than the monastery, there were still distractions that disturbed his peace, and once again, he became frustrated. Despite this, he kept returning to the lake every day. One day, he noticed a boat tied at the edge of a small pier. An idea struck him. Why don't I take the boat, row to the middle of the lake, and meditate there? In the middle of the lake, there will be nothing to disturb me. He took the boat, rowed it to the center of the lake, and started meditating. As expected, there was nothing to disturb him, and he was able to meditate peacefully all day. At the end of the day, he returned to the monastery. This continued for several days, and the monk was thrilled that he had finally found a place where he could meditate in peace. He no longer felt angry and could continue his meditation practice calmly. On the third day, as he sat meditating in the boat, he suddenly heard splashing water and felt the boat rocking. He started feeling annoyed, thinking, "Even in the middle of the lake, someone is disturbing me." He opened his eyes and saw a boat heading straight toward him. He shouted, "Steer your boat away or else you'll crash into mine." But the other boat kept coming closer and was just a few feet away. He yelled again, but nothing changed, and the boat eventually bumped into his. Now he was furious. He screamed, "Who are you and why did you hit my boat in the middle of this vast lake?" There was no response. This made him even angrier. He stood up to see who was in the other boat, and to his surprise, he found that it was empty. The boat had probably drifted along with the breeze and had accidentally bumped into his boat. Suddenly, his anger disappeared. It was just an empty boat. There was no one to be angry at. At that moment, he remembered his mentor's question, "Do you really know what is making you angry?" And then he realized it's not other people, situations, or circumstances. It's not the empty boat, but my own reaction to it that causes my anger. All the people and situations that upset me are just like the empty boat. They don't have the power to make me angry unless I allow them to. With this realization, the monk rowed back to shore. He returned to the monastery and resumed meditating with the other monks. There were still noises and disturbances around him, but he now treated them as empty boats and continued meditating peacefully. When the elder monk noticed the change, he simply smiled and said, "I see that you have finally understood what is truly making you angry and have overcome it." Like and subscribe to our channel Breathing for Successful Life so that it motivates us to create more life skill videos. Thank you for watching.